The city was a sprawling metropolis, a concrete jungle that never slept. Skyscrapers pierced the sky, their glass facades reflecting the vibrant hues of the setting sun. Yet, amidst the grandeur, there was an undercurrent of tension, a sense of unease that permeated the air. In a penthouse office on the top floor of SynTech Corporation, a multinational conglomerate known for its cutting-edge technology and ruthless business practices, Kai Hawthorne sat behind a sleek, minimalist desk. The room was a testament to his success, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city below. Kai was a man of power and influence, his name synonymous with innovation and ambition. At 35, he had built SynTech from the ground up, transforming it into a global leader in the tech industry. But tonight, his mind was not on business. Instead, he was grappling with a betrayal that threatened to unravel everything he had worked for. Across from him stood Marcus Voss, his business partner and longtime friend. Marcus was a shrewd and calculating man, his ambition matched only by his ruthlessness. For years, they had been a formidable team, but recently, Kai had begun to suspect that Marcus was not the ally he had once believed him to be. "Marcus, we need to talk," Kai said, his voice steady but firm. Marcus's eyes narrowed, a flicker of something dark passing over his features. "What is it, Kai?" "I'm a busy man." Kai leaned forward, his gaze intense. "I've been looking into the financial reports. There are discrepancies, large sums of money unaccounted for. I need to know what's going on." Marcus's expression remained impassive, but Kai could sense the tension radiating from him. "I don't know what you're talking about," he replied, his voice dripping with false sincerity. Kai's jaw tightened. "Don't play games with me, Marcus. I trusted you. We built this company together. But now I have reason to believe you've been embezzling funds." Marcus's facade cracked, his eyes blazing with anger. "You have no proof," he spat. Kai's voice was cold and calculated. "I have more than enough. And I won't let you destroy everything we've built." The room was silent, the air thick with tension. Marcus's mind raced, his thoughts a whirlwind of desperation and fury. He had underestimated Kai, and now he was backed into a corner. "Fine," Marcus said, his voice dripping with venom. "You want the truth? I've been planning this for years. SynTech is mine, and there's nothing you can do to stop me." Kai's heart pounded in his chest, but he kept his composure. "You're wrong, Marcus. I won't let you get away with this." In a flash, Marcus pulled a small device from his pocket, a remote control of sorts. "You think you're so clever, Kai. But I've always been one step ahead." Before Kai could react, the office door burst open, and a group of armed men stormed in. They overpowered Kai, injecting him with a mysterious substance that sent him into a dizzying spiral of darkness. As Kai's vision faded, he heard Marcus's voice, cold and mocking. "Goodbye, Kai. Enjoy your new life." The city was in the grip of the coldest December in decades. The streets were deserted, the usual hustle and bustle replaced by an eerie silence. Ava trudged home from her double shift at the bakery, her feet aching and her fingers numb from the biting cold. The bakery was a small, family-owned business, and Ava had been working there for years. It was a hard job, but it paid the bills, and she was grateful for the steady income. As she approached the back of the bakery, she noticed a figure huddled against the wall, barely visible beneath a tattered coat. Her heart ached at the sight, and despite the cold, she knelt beside him. "You shouldn't be alone tonight," she whispered, her voice gentle. The man, who introduced himself as Kai, was barely coherent. He mumbled something about a black car and voices screaming, but his words were lost to the wind. Ava's instincts told her that he was in trouble, and she couldn't leave him there. With some effort, she helped him to his feet and guided him to her tiny studio apartment. It was a modest place, but it was warm and safe, and Ava was determined to help him. Kai was a mystery. His hands were too smooth for manual labor, and he spoke with a quiet elegance that hinted at a life far removed from Ava's own. Yet, he was kind and gentle, and Ava felt a strange sense of connection to him. As she settled him into her bed, she noticed the haunted look in his eyes. "What happened to you?" she asked softly. Kai's voice was barely audible. "I don't know. I can't remember." Ava's heart went out to him. She could see the confusion and fear in his eyes, and she vowed to help him in any way she could. Ava's life was a constant struggle. She lived paycheck to paycheck, her days a blur of work and exhaustion. Her father had disappeared years ago, leaving her with nothing but questions and a deep sense of loss. Her mother had passed away last winter, leaving her utterly alone. Despite the hardships, Ava was determined to make the best of her life. She had always dreamed of becoming a writer, and she spent her rare moments of free time working on her stories. Her tiny studio apartment was filled with notebooks and scribbled pages, each one a testament to her creativity and resilience. When she brought Kai into her home, she offered him her bed, insisting that he rest while she slept on the couch. "Just until you get back on your feet," she said, her voice filled with compassion. Kai was grateful for her kindness, but he was also wary. He knew he was in danger, and he didn't want to put Ava at risk. Yet, he was drawn to her strength and her warmth, and he found himself opening up to her in ways he hadn't expected. As he recovered, Ava began to notice things that puzzled her. Kai's hands were skilled and precise, and he seemed to possess knowledge and abilities that were out of place for someone living on the streets. Kai's memories returned in fragments. Dreams of long meetings, harsh words from a woman in red, and betrayal by a childhood friend haunted his nights. He woke up in a cold sweat, his heart pounding, the images vivid and terrifying. Ava was by his side, her eyes filled with concern. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice gentle. Kai nodded, but he knew he had to tell her the truth. "I think I'm remembering things," he confessed. "Flashes of my past, but they're not clear." Ava listened intently as Kai recounted the fragments of his memories. She could see the confusion and fear in his eyes, and she wanted to help him in any way she could. One night, while Ava was asleep, Kai found her old laptop and typed in a name that had been echoing in his mind. The search results were shocking. SynTech Corporation CEO, declared missing, presumed dead. The man in the picture was unmistakably him. Kai's mind raced as he tried to piece together his past. He remembered flashes of a black car, a boardroom, and voices screaming, but the details were elusive. He knew he had to be careful. If his enemies discovered he was alive, Ava could be in danger. As Kai recovered, strange things began to happen. A black SUV appeared across the street, its occupants watching the apartment with unsettling intensity. Ava noticed it one evening as she returned from work, her heart racing with fear. "Kai, there's a car out there," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I think they're watching us." Kai's mind raced. He had suspected that his enemies were closing in, but he hadn't expected them to find him so quickly. He knew he had to protect Ava, even if it meant revealing the truth about his past. He took her hand, his eyes filled with determination. "Ava, there's something I need to tell you. My name is Kai Hawthorne, and I'm the CEO of SynTech Corporation. I was betrayed by my business partner, and I think they're trying to kill me." Ava's mind raced as she tried to process the information. She had suspected that Kai was more than he seemed, but she hadn't expected this. "What do we do?" she asked, her voice barely audible. Kai's voice was steady. "We need to lay low and figure out a plan. But first, I need to know if you're with me." Ava nodded, her heart filled with resolve. "I'm with you," she said, her voice filled with conviction. A man in a suit tried to follow Ava from work, only to be thwarted by her quick thinking. She ducked into a crowded coffee shop, her heart pounding as she watched him from the window. The man lingered outside, his eyes scanning the crowd before finally walking away. Ava's unease grew, and she confided in Kai. "I think someone's following me," she said, her voice filled with fear. Kai's suspicions were confirmed. He knew he had to act quickly to keep Ava safe. He devised a plan to confront the man, hoping to uncover the truth about who was after him. He waited outside the coffee shop, his eyes fixed on the man in the suit. When the man finally left, Kai followed him, his heart pounding with adrenaline. The man led him to a nearby parking garage, where he met with another man in a black SUV. Kai watched from a distance, his mind racing with possibilities. Ava's landlord, usually cold and distant, suddenly offered her a rent reduction after Kai accidentally bumped into him and whispered something. Ava was surprised but grateful, unaware of the conversation that had taken place. Kai had used his knowledge of the man's financial troubles to convince him to lower Ava's rent. It was a small gesture, but it bought them some time. Kai knew he had to be careful. He couldn't afford to draw any more attention to himself or Ava. He explained the situation to Ava, his voice filled with urgency. "We need to be cautious. The less attention we draw, the better." Ava nodded, her mind racing with thoughts of their next move. She knew they needed a plan, a way to gather evidence against Marcus without alerting him. One evening, as Ava was working on her latest story, Kai sat down beside her. "I need to tell you something," he said, his voice serious. Ava looked at him, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and anticipation. "What is it?" Kai took a deep breath. "I remember who I am," he confessed. "I'm Kai Hawthorne, the CEO of SynTech Corporation. And I think someone is trying to kill me." Ava's mind raced as she tried to process the information. She had suspected that Kai was more than he seemed, but she hadn't expected this. "What do we do?" she asked, her voice barely audible. Kai took her hand, his eyes filled with determination. "We fight back," he said. "But first, I need to tell you everything." He explained everything to Ava, from his life as a billionaire CEO to the betrayal by his business partner, Marcus. He told her about the conspiracy to seize control of SynTech and the attempt on his life. Ava listened intently, her mind racing with ideas. She knew they needed a plan, a way to gather evidence without alerting Marcus. Kai and Ava devised a plan to gather evidence against Marcus. They enlisted the help of a trusted friend, a former colleague of Kai's who had also been betrayed by Marcus. Together, they set up a sting operation, using hidden cameras and microphones to record Marcus's conversations. The plan was risky, but it was their only chance to expose the truth. As they waited for Marcus to make his move, Ava and Kai grew closer, their bond strengthened by the shared danger and the hope of a future together. They spent hours discussing their strategy, their conversations filled with tension and anticipation. Kai's friend, a tech expert, helped them set up the equipment, ensuring that everything was in place for the big day. The night of the sting operation was tense. Kai and Ava watched from a nearby van as Marcus arrived at the designated meeting place. The hidden cameras and microphones captured everything, including Marcus's confession of his crimes. As the evidence was transmitted to the authorities, Kai and Ava confronted Marcus. "It's over, Marcus," Kai said, his voice filled with triumph. Marcus's face contorted with rage, but before he could react, the police arrived, arresting him and his accomplices. The sting operation was a success, and the evidence against Marcus was overwhelming. Kai was reinstated as the CEO of SynTech, and Marcus was charged with embezzlement, fraud, and attempted murder. With Marcus behind bars, Kai was reinstated as the CEO of SynTech. He and Ava worked together to rebuild the company, their partnership a testament to their love and shared vision. Ava's story, now a best-selling novel, became a symbol of resilience and the power of love. She continued to write, her stories filled with the hope and determination that had carried her through the darkest times. Kai and Ava's relationship blossomed, their love a beacon of strength and hope. They faced challenges along the way, but they faced them together, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. As the years passed, Kai and Ava established a foundation to support aspiring writers and entrepreneurs, their story inspiring countless others to pursue their dreams. They traveled the world, their adventures filled with laughter and love. Ava's writing career flourished, and she became a best-selling author, her books beloved by readers around the world. Kai continued to lead SynTech, his leadership and vision guiding the company to new heights. Their love story was one for the ages, a testament to the power of resilience, the strength of the human spirit, and the enduring power of love. Unbeknownst to them, the man in the black SUV, who had been watching Ava all those months ago, was not a threat but a guardian, hired by Kai's loyal friend to protect her. The man in the suit who had tried to follow her was an undercover detective investigating the conspiracy against Kai. Their paths had crossed in ways they never imagined, their lives intertwined by fate and love. Subscribe, like, and comment your ideas for more dark love stories.